Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Deputy Reviews, where if you caught the title of today's show, no, that is not a typo. That is actually a movie title. It's a documentary. It is called The AI Doc, or How I Became an Apocaloptimist. Yeah, try to say that one 5 times fast. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt that one. What is the AI Doc, and what is it? Well, unless you've been living under a rock for the last few years, you have seen AI just explode. We've got Gemini, we've got ChatGPT. We've had Siri for ages. We've got all of these other things. And what are they? What is AI? It's artificial intelligence. And we see it getting smarter and smarter, or dumber and dumber, as some might put it. But it just keeps evolving, and it's getting to the point where there was a thing a couple months ago where an AI somewhere down in the Southwest United States was planning on being shut down. The people that were creating or planning on shutting it down. And what the AI did is it actually wrote its own code to try to escape. Seriously. Had it had access to an Ethernet line or anything, which thankfully they had disconnected it, who knows where that would be now. And what does that mean? The topic of AI, the discussion on AI can go so much bigger than what we think. We've had movies like I, Robot. We saw AI, the one with Robin Williams years ago. And we've seen all of these other types of AI stories where we see this really apocalyptic stuff happening. And then we see, okay, that's maybe not such a bad thing because these movies tend to have happy endings. But it creates the question, it creates the curiosity of what if? What if? What if? I said that many times intentionally. Because think of the most imaginative sci-fi movie you could think of. Now imagine if AI made it happen. Yeah. So that is one of the things that this documentary delves deep into. The one that started this whole thing and got all these interviews and stuff going, he is expecting a child with his partner. And he really goes full on down the rabbit hole into this AI thing. Before we get too far into this, I will say, just because of the topic of this movie, I'm giving it a guilty rating. It's just going to go over kids' head. It's going to be too much to try to process. And without proper context, it could be scary for some of the younger viewers. So I just want to kind of preface that with that. But let's jump into the trailer. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit more about the movie. And just so you're aware, I'm going to be stopping the trailer at some key points. So
if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong. What?
Your fear of AI is the collapse of humanity.
Well, not the collapse, the abrupt extermination. There's a difference.
You did hear that right. When I was watching this, I backed that up and played that again. Yeah, basically, one of the biggest approach he's taking with this documentary is that we will become extinct to AI in the very near future. What do you think about that?
So I started making this movie because my wife is 6 months pregnant. It is now a terrible time to have a kid.
Let's be honest. I know people who work on AI risk who don't expect their children to make it to high school.
That dude is serious. There is a lot of this documentary is from that perspective. And so if this is one that you've been thinking about watching for a while, I just want you to come into it knowing that that is the perspective that a lot of this documentary takes. Is that the only perspective? No, it is not. Is it balanced? No. But we're going to get into that a little bit more.
How does AI understand pretty much everything? It's surprisingly straightforward. Intelligence is about recognizing patterns. Patterns.
And that's it. It's all about patterns. But the thing is, we teach this technology to know what to recognize, to know how to learn. We teach this technology to sample other bits of information to learn, which is how we learn. It's like we learn by reading books, by watching things, by experiencing them. And that is what AI is being brought up to do. I mean, heck, we even take these things. There are times when I'll just be sitting in my living room talking with my husband about like looking into buying something or looking into researching something. And then all of a sudden, even though I don't even have the app open, I will start seeing ads for those items on Facebook or on other things, even though I didn't actually search them on my phone, which means it's listening, which means it's learning. And maybe that is scary. It's like, that's one reason I will never have an Alexa in my home. I will never have one of those like little home-based things that you just reach out and talk to it. I even have like the voice thing turned off on my phone because I don't want it responding to that. I don't want it responding to just my random questions, and yet it's still listening.
If you have learned those patterns, you can generate new information. AI is moving so fast.
It's being deployed prematurely. There's so much potential for things to go wrong.
Why?
Now, going back a little ways into like sci-fi stuff, if you've ever seen the movie Short Circuit and you've seen Johnny Five, and he's like through all these books, and he's learning, and he memorizes all of this information, and he uses that to become more and more intelligent. Isn't that what we're asking AI to do? And yet, how many people think it'd be cool to have Johnny Five, but yet they don't want AI? And why?
Can't we just stop?
All these companies are in a race
to get AI that's vastly more intelligent than people within this decade.
China, North Korea, Russia.
Whoever wins is essentially the controller of humankind.
Now, getting into that a little bit, there is, I think it's in China or Japan, where they're starting to actually do social media scores, where they're scoring people based off of things on their social media, or it's just in the infancy of it where it's being proposed. I don't know if it's actually active yet, but based on your scores, it will depend on whether or not you're able to just even go out and buy groceries, buy gas, interact with the public. Things like that. There was a quote in this movie. I'm just got to find it here. It's third. Basically, the human brain is. I don't remember what the exact. I've used the abbreviation on this, but the human brain can process something at like 30. I think it's 30 megabytes per second, roughly. And AI can process information at 300 million megabytes per second. But I mean, I'm not talking like 10 times. We're not going from 30 to 300 here. We're going from 30 to 300 million. Our brains just struggle to even process that. And why are we doing this? Why are we creating this? Can we stop it? Do we want to stop it? At some point, you can't unlearn. You can't take all of this technology and just suddenly force it to unlearn itself. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
We need to take a threat from AI as seriously as global nuclear war.
It feels like I have to find these CEOs and get them in the movie.
Great.
I want to ask you to promise me that this is going to go well.
That is impossible.
Okay.
Am I hopeful? Yes. Am I confident that it'll go right? Absolutely not. AI is the thing that can solve climate change.
We could cure most diseases.
What if it's expanding what is humanly possible?
This is the most extraordinary time ever. The only time more exciting than today is tomorrow.
I already love you.
Okay.
I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
By using AI, we're about to move off of the Earth into the cosmos.
If we can be the most mature version of ourselves, there might be a way through this.
This is the last mistake we'll ever get to make.
And one of the things that's really kind of focusing on here is that It's more of the woke part of society. It's that, can't we all just get along? I mean, make love, not war. I mean, just all of this kind of things that is just completely unrealistic and just very socialist, very communistic types of thinking. It doesn't specifically delve into all of that, but it hints at that throughout this movie. And it's just very, it would be interesting if it's focused just on the AI, which I understand the AI, you cannot take it just at face value. You have to look at the programming that's going into it. You have to look at the minds that are programming this AI and the direction of these people's personal leanings as per se. And so those thoughts and those ideas are being inserted into these AI things. And there is so much out there that you ask AI and okay, you're going to get a simple answer, but you ask us other things that should seem simple and they're not. It gives you very skewed political things on different ways that you ask these questions. And it's not necessarily asking them in a Republican way or in a Democrat way or in a right or a left or right or a wrong. But all AI is it's a collection of thoughts that have been programmed to it. And as we know the direction of mainstream media, so you can imagine the direction that a lot of this is going in. To me, I find that the most scary. Now, this came out back on March 27th of this year. And I did not get a chance to see it in the theater. It was in our local theater just, I think, for maybe a week. And I had not gotten in to see it when it was there. But so as soon as this came available on instant video, and I honestly thought about it, and I just looked up, I'm like, oh, it's available now, so I'm going to watch this. And I watched it, and I took all my notes. And like I've shared with you guys in the past, it's like I take extensive notes. I'm going to show you here. These were all of the notes I took just in this movie. So I took in a very extensive amount of notes. And I'm the first to say I'm not usually a big fan of documentaries, but this one had enough that it kept my attention throughout. And I was both intrigued and enraged at different points of this documentary. Like I said, it definitely had a skewed thing. It's like, okay, should I be excited or should I be terrified that AI is doing this? Like the guy asks, is this the right time to have a kid? And it's and that could raise the whole thing of the whole choice argument and stuff on that too. It hints to it. It never quite goes there, but it hints to it. And this, like he said, he has a chance to sit down with some of these CEOs, and one of the ones that doesn't come to show, one of the ones that doesn't participate is Elon Musk. Well, we kind of know the direction he leans on that. And basically the rest of this kind of leans the other direction. So what does that mean? What does this mean? Is this AI documentary just a mind meld of conspiracies? Or is there something to this? AI, I don't think it's ever going to go away. Technology just keeps evolving as we go. And if this hadn't started as far back as it did, would it be as far as it is today? And then if this was just starting today, what would that mean? There are so many of these what ifs. This whole movie is what ifs. And it's kind of freaky because it's whoever develops these technologies the first, the fastest, control it. And that can be scary. I'm not the AI itself, but the people controlling it. And then as AI becomes more and more aware, there was this Higgs boson, I think that's what it's called, the test, of a test that you can take to prove that you're basically human. It's like no AI has ever been able to pass that test. Well, I think it was a year or so ago that an AI passed the test and the computer recognized the AI as human. Like I said, we are getting into that technology. We are getting into the whole self-driving cars. We've had autopilot forever. Well, not forever, but a very long time. And even that's evolving. We see all of these things happening just around us. And we, like I said, when I reference things that are happening like with our phones or If you have an Alexa in your home or a Gemini or any of these Google Home devices or any of these, or if you have Siri, if you have an iPhone, they're always listening. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to say put away your phone. I'm not trying to say turn off your phone. I'm not a fearmonger. I'm not going to sit there and do that to you. But I don't know if a lot of people are ready to have that conversation. Now, this movie is good at creating the ideas that creates the conversation. The rest of what this movie presents us with is highly controversial, to say the least. What score am I giving the AI doc? Well, it's easy because it's only available on instant video and stuff now, but with just everything, all of the content involved, the take on it, just how it's presented, just blah, 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 yakety schmackety. I am giving the AI doc a very surprising 3 out of 10 on the deputy scale. There's enough information out there. It just takes a little bit of homework that you can find way more accurate information, just 10 minutes of research versus almost a 2-hour documentary. So that's really going to kind of depend. Do you want to watch? It's like, if you are really afraid of the direction the AI is going, and if you are just dead set on just anti-technology, stuff like that, you're going to get a lot more out of this than if you are somebody who is like taking a common sense look at all of this. I mean, this guy, okay, I cannot say anything about depression, anxiety. I suffer from depression, anxiety, PTSD, all of that other stuff, along with my physical health conditions, cancer, fibromyalgia, a bunch of other stuff that's going on. So I'm not going to blame this guy for being paranoid, because when you have mental stuff going on, I mean, this guy is full on paranoia, and that's the direction that he was going, that he created this. So I can understand the thought process, but I think it's maybe a little bit apocalyptic. Only, like I said, it's a documentary. It's not meant to be a movie. It's not meant to be just an entertaining. It's meant to scare you. And like I said, if you just blindly follow media, maybe it will. But I hope that you'll have enough common sense to do your homework and check it out for yourself. So if this is one you've been wanting to see, I hope that this will help. As always, I promise it's an adventure. So, and I will be back soon with some more movies for you. Don't worry, I'm coming back with Return of the Jedi on Monday, and I'm going to have some other movies coming up this next week, the ones that came out this weekend. So you don't want to go too far. If you haven't done so already, please click subscribe and turn on that notification bell. And as always, I will be back soon. Bye, everybody.